Happy Aloha Friday, wave riders, beachgoers, and it's going to be Friday all the way out about 10 days. This is the jet stream. It's got this loop to our north. It creates an occluded low, which kind of stalls it out, allows it to spin in place and grow, spread out. Anytime you see a dip, that's a trough, and it allows the upper levels to help get surface lows spinning counterclockwise. Pretty strange looking snake we got here. It was zonal not too long ago. Rolling it out, we can see it completely cuts off. Got a high pressure over here, about a 1028 millibar high, and then we got a stronger one, about 1032 millibar high over here. Our trades are pretty much light to moderate today. It's hot and muggy. I'll get to that weather in a second. But as time rolls on next week, once it cuts off like this, it shuts off the opportunity to get anything spinning. We get some juice in it, about 130 knots here into towards mid next week. We'll not be bringing much surf. Really, the action's going to be Hurricane Lane. That'll be passing us to our south. That's what we're projecting so far. A little bit too early to call. And then we get another split in the jet. But there is some energy for this time of year. We're not doing too bad. Early fall, well, we'll wait and see. And this goes out to a week, Friday the 24th. We do have some northwest swell potentially coming. Let me get to that later in the swell tracker. Okay, going back a week now, a little hindcasting. Friday the 10th. Here is Hector passing us off to the southwest. Brought us up to 6 feet easily. It wasn't an organized swell, but there were some powerful big waves from Sandy's all the way to Diamond Head, closing out Diamond Head and Caicos. And starting in the animation, you can see fairly active over here, fairly active in the West Pac as well. Hector stayed alive quite a while. High pressures going clockwise, dominating most of the northeast Pacific. Here we are Friday the 17th. A slight trade swell up there that could bring us some 2-footers. Monday, we have something much better to show you. Oh, by the way, you see this guy out here? Well, that's Hurricane Lane. So, resuming the surface winds, take a look. Boy, this weekend is generating, isn't it? There's that occluded low pressure there, sending us a north-northwest swell. It'll fill in Tuesday, hopefully 3 feet, maybe 4 if we're lucky in the afternoon. Wednesday will be the peak, 3 to 5. It'll have some north in it too, so north to north-northwest. That thing's going to fade. Here, Lane is pretty close to us by Tuesday. We will be experiencing the winds and weather by this point. This guy is going counterclockwise, and so that flank there to its north is going to be sending quite a fetch over to the Big Island. It'll be very interesting to see what this ends up doing. Now, if you've seen this huge typhoon over here, that's Sulik. That typhoon is expected to get into the Sea of Japan and recurve. That's the one I was referring to. So let's take a look at all of these features. There comes Lane. We'll focus on Lane first. Expected to follow the track of Hector and miss us, thank God, but it is too early to make that claim. This spinner up here is powerful enough. The winds 40-45 knots, so we should see some 14 seconds out of it on Tuesday into Wednesday. Could get 5 feet Hawaiian scale, 3 or 4 feet overhead at least on this one, and it's still August. That one will fade out, and then now we'll focus on Sulik. I think that's how you pronounce it. Gets into the Sea of Japan and then comes off right there as a cold core low. Now, the track isn't the best, and the long-range forecasts aren't great. This is about as far out as it goes. I project it's going to stay up there. Tuesday or Wednesday, we could see a pulse of 12 to 14 second, 3, hopefully 4 foot surf from the northwest out of former Typhoon Sulik. And this is a long shot. Okay, now we're taking a look at the swell heights produced by the surface winds we were looking at. This is Hector, because this is going back Thursday the 9th. We'll start it in. There goes Hector. Again, a very active season for us. High pressure dominating. We go quiet here. Here comes Lane in the East Pacific. There's Sulik in the West Pacific. Subtropics moving up. And there we go. Some serious sized swells coming through. Definitely potential warning level southeast swell, and what a season it has been. Luckily, we have not been hit yet. So as Friday the 17th, Lane's the main guy. This next swell for the north swell Tuesday, Wednesday is the next most important, and then Sulik out here, I'll give it a 3rd place. Okay, let's take a look at the swell periods. None of the south swell reached us. We're sitting here at about 20 north, 160 west. These lines, these periods over here, former Hurricane Hector, Starting these in, you can see more south swell slamming Baja. There's Typhoon Suluk sending that energy out. Here comes our north swell, north-northwest swell for Tuesday, Wednesday. That's making its way down as the longer period swell from Lane reaches us. So Lane reaches us first with the swell and then the north swell. But clearly, we've got a lot going on. Okay, let's go to the land down under. The jet stream northern branch is still dominant. All these blue areas showing the high pressure. Actually, it spins counterclockwise down under, clockwise above the equator. Anyway, we don't want to see that. We want to see deep reds and purples coming right up the east coast of New Zealand. Hardly seen any of that this summer. We don't get much of our swell from the north jet, but it does help support and feed Tasman sea swells, and I'll get to that in a moment. Let's see what this guy does. You can see a nice meridional flow, but the winds are only 100 miles an hour, and it is pointed out of our swell window. Kind of more of the same. Southern branch just lousy. There comes that high pressure again. The southern branch zonal, although it does seem to pick up a little bit more energy as time goes on, but then it starts to split again late in the forecast. More energy is sneaking out Saturday the 25th. We'll see if that amounts to anything. We're going to look at surface winds. We're going to go back Friday the 10th. This spinner right here under French Polynesia is the reason why we're seeing the current south swell. And there are some sets here and there. The winds just weren't very strong, 35 mile per hour gales. But the proximity did allow this to make its way up, and we have seen some shoulder high waves. And then we go back to either missing our swell window. You saw the swell period lines in the animation prior. These are the guys, they're out of our swell window. We're just out of view, out of the window. There is some energy in the TAS, but what you're seeing there is not going to make it to us. Just a bad setup overall, course of an entire week. But anyway, I just wanted to show you why we're seeing what we're seeing today. Now we're bringing the surface winds current. Nothing going on until right there. We have a nice flow in the Tasman Sea. Fiji should get about 15 feet out of this guy. Wave Watch 3 showing 12 feet 15 seconds, so I'll bet you the guys are heading down there. That'll be about Wednesday the 22nd for Fiji. And for us, oh boy, maybe the 27th, but just about a foot and a half, 14 to 16 seconds. If we get some 3-footers out of it, we'll be grateful. The reason why Fiji gets so big is so much closer. The open ocean swells from these storms lose about half their height every 1,000 miles. And all these South Pac Islands here act as a cheese grater. They're really much harder to predict. They're a lot less consistent in general. Tasman Sea swells. This is not going to be anything special for us, but it will be for Fiji. Rolling these things out a little further, that is gone by Tuesday the 21st. This tracks down the wrong way for us. Then we go zonal. We may see a little bit of sideband swell out of that last system that pops on these models 7 days from now. But all in all, we're going to finish up August below average and way below what we were hoping for. Oh well, at least we had June and July. Take a look at the swells produced by the surface winds we were looking at. We'll take a look at the Tasman Sea event. There it is. Kind of compact. That's why it's not going to be big. This guy is tracking southeast, not the right way. This guy is zonal. We like them to move up towards us with a meridional flow, and that's not what we see at this point in the models. It could turn. Let's keep our hopes up for this one because there's some 35-foot seas in that bugger. Okay, the water vapor loops features about 20,000 feet up. You can see there are some areas of troughiness, some little bit of instability in the weather, and here he comes, Lane, creeping into the picture. Take a look at that. Wow. All this off to the west is the intertropical convergence zone where the trade winds from the North Pac meet the trade winds from South Pac. Those will stay put, but not Lane. Is moving our way. You can see the instability to our northwest from that occluded low. Here's another picture of it. The north swell. You can see those clouds move in the same direction as the winds at the surface. Oh, take a look at Lane's eye. He is still intensifying. Drilling down a little bit further. Gorgeous day. Maui, though, had flood advisories, so it depends on which island you're on. We do have a couple of areas of troughiness or low pressure. Highs are going to be near 90, lows near 75. Weather for Maui and for the Big Island, and for all of us, will be more stabilized by Monday. You can see a nice east flow to the trade winds. More clouds for the Big Island and Maui. We're not looking too bad on Oahu. Gorgeous outside my window here, leeward. The hand-drawn surface charts are showing the high pressure over here, the weak one. That will stay weak. The low bring in the swell for next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The high pressure over here keeping our trade winds in place, and all these, the red lines here you see, that's the troughiness, and here lane. So far the weather looks pretty good for Oahu and Kauai. Hardly any rain at all. Just a little bit of sprinkles upstream of Maui and the Big Island. Once again, that's clearing up for next week. But until then, we'll have these light to moderate trade winds expected through the weekend, solidifying better on Sunday, below small craft advisory levels. Periods of those heavy showers, though, expected, particularly windward waters, as the tropical moisture moves in from the east. Hurricane Lane, about 1,300 miles east-southeast of Hilo, and definitely going to be bringing tropical storm conditions to water south of the Big Island next week. Okay, windy.com. Here is Lane moving our way. Here's the most geographic isolated landmass and population on planet Earth, stuck out here in the largest body of water on the blue planet. Pulling back, our north-northwest spinner here, well in place today. The next typhoon to reach Japan and hopefully recur for us next week. This is Lane on Friday. Here's Lane 5 p.m. on Saturday, about 7 p.m. on Sunday, 6 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday 7 p.m. By this model, it's well south of us. Wednesday around 4 o'clock, considerably further away than Hector. We'll have to wait. And that's your local swell tracker. Thank you for being here. I'll check you out next weekend right here at surfnewsnetwork.com. Thanks again.